Good evening. In politics, there are those leaders that are called mixed fix-it. In Azimio la Umoja, Raila Odinga has Junet Mohammed. In Kenya Kwanza, William Ruto has one Farouk Kibet. Now, these politicians, that is the first tier. Then there is the second tier of the campaign machineries. These campaign machineries are leaders that some of them are just to counter the opponents, some are just to do propaganda, then some are for the sake of optics, they're just there for regional representation. In this video, I have narrowed down to some 5 politicians that if someone is close to William Samoei Ruto, he should actually tell him that these politicians are subtracting his votes. Raila Odinga's campaign spokesperson Makau Mtua says that at this critical moment, every political strategy must be adding and not subtracting. But to these leaders, they are not adding any flavor to William Ruto's campaigns. There are 3 that have played out in public, and this is something that should worry Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And to make us understand, I want to ask one thing. In Kenya Kwanza, or rather to Deputy President, he has his own manifesto that is anchored on the BUEM, bottom-up economic model. And any other leader just knows there is a bottom-up economic model, even without understanding the structure, how it is going to be implemented, and what it entails. Such politicians have been found in very uncomfortable situations when they are pushed to task to even explain that bottom-up economic model. In this video, I want to name the 5. Cleophas Malala is the governor aspirant from Kakamega. And I listened to Malala recently talking about, in a rally that was attended by David and Rutangula, talking about how the police are not, the requirement for police is just, the role of the police is just to carry guns. Let me explain that Malala is not adding any votes to William Ruto. Perhaps we can excuse him by saying that he's in ANC and he's pushing an ANC agenda. So he might not do so much into it. Let me explain why. The attack on the police is attack on the middle class. And someone should tell them that if there is a voting demographic that William Ruto is struggling to convince and to gel with, is the middle class, because the hustlers are not in the middle class. The model talks about bottom up and never talks about the middle. So the middle class are not part of William Ruto's campaign agenda. I wanted to listen to this, and by the way, when Malala was talking, even the policeman that was guarding Musalia Mudavadi became uncomfortable and even threw his hand away, saying like, what is this guy saying? Can you watch that video here?
Sababu kazi ya askari si kushika bunduki tu peke yake. Yo inahitaji masomo yoyote kweli? Mheshimiwa Musalia, kama mtu alienda form 4 na alipata C+, tupeleke yeye aende university asome. Kazi ya askari ni hao majamaa ambao wako hapa, hao ambao waliacha shule na hawakufanikiwa kumaliza shule. Ama mimi naongea vibaya? Niseme nisiseme? Na jambo la
critically, this is not adding any vote, because the blunders in the campaign trail is denting the image and what really William Ruto stands for. Let's look at Aisha Jumwa and her qualities that is making her that is not becoming fair to William Ruto's presidential bid is non-sensitive language and anti-Raila rants and a very confrontational approach in campaigns. Yesterday, during a rally that was held in Kilifi, Amason Kingi's party PA pamoja African Alliance had organized the rally with the UDA, and in that event there were those who support Aisha Jumwa, who is vying for governor through UDA, and there are those who support George Kithi, who is the PA candidate for governor in Kilifi. A confrontation ensued between the two, and Aisha Jumwa became temperamental, saying that every dog has his owner, its owner. And in what was seems as throwing jabs to George Kithi, telling him that come and speak to your dogs. Literally in a campaign rally, the people that William Ruto envisions as hustlers were demeaned, belittled, and disrespected by a simile called the dog. I don't know how this is really working. And by the way, yesterday when Ruto arrived there, he was supposed to speak in the podium, in the dais that had been erected there. He had just to speak through from his car because the ground was hostile.
Tawaongee mchana, usiku watalala. Na mimi nikiwa hapa chini na wapiga parada na waambia hamtoshi, tupatane tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8. Mheshimiwa Aisha, Waswahili wanasema mbwa ukimjua jina hakuumi tena.
Huyu mama Aisha Jumwa si anatafuta gavana wa hapa hapa Kilifi. Huyu Aisha anatosha matoshi. Mama Aisha anatosha matoshi. Anatosha matoshi. Mtapatia huyu mama jameni kura akwe gavana wa sehemu hii.
Now, that confrontational approach by Aisha Jumwa and non-sensitive language is making William Ruto's supporters disgruntled. What's that here? And which was the best way to explain this? In my understanding, if William Ruto is banking on Aisha Jumwa to deliver Kilifi votes, then that is done. In fact, I support him. Rather try to work with Amason Kingi a bit. Is confrontational, is trying to make a name by opposing Raila, but is very conservative in his words. He cannot start abusing Raila or insulting. He just wants to create his niche. Moses Kuria has a mission, and it is his own mission. A very good friend of mine says he's blowing hot and cold, and I want to agree, because Moses Kuria is in a mission. He is the only person who knows. This is what I say. Even though he is part of William Ruto's presidential team, he is vying as a governor in Kiambu, and it seems William Ruto has forgotten about that. So what he has opted to, he wants to create a niche and make clout from attacking Martha Karua and President Uhuru Kenyatta. The problem might not be attacking, because that mission, every Mount Kenya politician is there, but the abusive language and lack of stand. He's one of the politicians, for lack of a better word, I can say is the most confused of all. Now, the abusive language on Raila, Uhuru, that is making him be seen as people who are with William Ruto are crooks, are rogue characters. That is something, because someone said, ukiwa na watu and you behave that way. Some of them, like Moses Kuria, will attack and abuse President and Raila in front of Deputy President William Ruto. By the way, he doesn't use this abusive language when he's doing his governor rallies alone. This is the blunder that William Ruto is making with Kuria. Kuria wants to be governor in Kiambu. So for him to be governor, he wants to make sure that he creates animosity between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta, because President is the kingpin, so that people will see him as a jamba, as a brave person, at the expense of the presidential vote to William Samoei Ruto. We once analyzed here and asked, so Ruto, Mkuria took William Ruto to Gatundu to campaign. What happened? They went there and started abusing Raila. When Ruto came back, there was no votes. And I may just ask, where does Moses Kuria bring the votes? That is something that is working against him. Alfred Mutua is the image of, is there for optics, so that he can bring a chunk of votes from Kabani. However, this is where he's getting it wrong. And that's why I'm only a little bit on him. Alfred Mutua is up there to explain to voters why he is not in Azimio. And secondly, he's telling Mukambani Nation how William Ruto has promised him very special seat. So let me ask, was it about the seat or was it about the interest of Mukambani? So the point is, Alfred Mutua is not talking on the voice of Ukambani. He doesn't speak to their language. He doesn't speak to their heart. And that will not work. Secondly, he is being used to attack Kalonzo Musyoka. That's just destroying himself. Take it to bank. Kalonzo is the kingpin. And attacking Kalonzo is not going to bring Kenya Kwanza votes. I would rather than tell William Ruto to go with the diplomatic approach that one leader, Jonathan Mweke, and the governor aspirant, Mudhama has. Mudhama has gone so soft with Kalonzo and doesn't want to attack Kalonzo because he's vying for governor in Machakos. I would rather take that approach than pick Alfred Mutua, who first is a dented politician. Dented. Everything is said about him, from marital issues to governance to everything. That is a dented politician. And for lastly, take this to bank, Alfred Mutua is a Azimio Mon in Kenya Kwanza. That is it. He doesn't mean well for William Ruto. Man regarding Gachagua, I call him the bogeyman. He's overexcited, seems to have sworn himself in as the deputy president, non-informed about the bottom-up economic model and very divisive. Kindly now, there is a storm at UDA about the positions, Central Kenya positions, and Mwangi Kiunjuri was complaining that we've been left out because of how Gachagua is overexcited. Recently, Gachagua went to a TV interview, I think in Inoro, and mentioned, in trying to explain bottom up, how they would rather demolish Safaricom so that they get the taxes and help facilitate bottom up. I'm like, did bottom up realize that even up there, for bottom up model to work, you must have bottom and up. Then Safaricom is the up. Or even for it to work, it will not start from bottom up. It will start from up to bottom first. You may have to take the taxes from the big companies to give loans to the SMEs or grants to the SMEs. So I want to believe, and the choice of Rigathi Gachagua was a mess. These politicians, if William Ruto doesn't manage, they're going to sink the vote. They're going to sink the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my analysis. We have 20,000 subscribers. Asanteni sana, and kindly continue subscribing and like our video. Who is not in this list and you believe should be here?